and doctor of human sexuality. This sex-curious show is Sexplanations. Today's episode is sponsored by AdamandEve.com, an online warehouse of sexual relief. Sometimes we just can't get off in the way we want to. We need sexual relief, but there are all sorts of barriers cock-blocking our pleasure. I'm thinking sick partner, scheduling, chafed dick, recovering from surgery, lack of privacy, shame, and or just not feeling in the mood for a go-to get-off routine. Don't worry, I got you. There isn't just one way to release all that built-up sexual tension. There's at least 13. Number 1, eating cocoa. This might not lead to an orgasm, but it is shown to stimulate the same part of the brain as orgasm. So when you get a hit of high cocoa chocolate or eat cocoa nibs, it can feel like being relieved from arousal. It does for me. I get turned on a lot, and if there isn't an opportunity to take care of it with genital stimulation, I just melt a small bit of 85% dark on my tongue, and voila, everything goes back to resting state. Number 2, mutual masturbation. Let's say that your choice for sexual relief is usually pelvis to pelvis contact, penetration, rubbing, strap-ons, etc. But for whatever reason, that's not an option. Lying side by side and touching your own bodies is another way to go. It affords you the intimacy of sex, the accuracy of masturbation, and relief. This is great for me when my orifices get worn out, but I'm still horny and want to come. Number 3, solo masturbation. Sexual relief doesn't require another person. Spend some time seducing yourself with a good meal, a hot bath, maybe some porn or a rom-com. Soothe your skin with oil, get comfortable, and play with yourself. Rub one or more or none out, linger, tease, and have fun experimenting with your own sensuality. Number 4, phone sex. This is one of my favorite ways to get sexual relief. I send a text or call my partner who consents to these types of conversations, and then we're off narrating a sex scene, who is going to do what, with what intentions, and imagining how it feels. I can be talked through an entire conversation of arousal, all verbal, but sometimes it's also nice to have the tactile, touching myself while I'm doing it. Number 5, video. Partners aren't necessary for sexual relief. It's possible to take care of your business with your sweet, sweet self. One way to do this is video. If you have a phone with a video camera, you can prop it up with pillows, hold it with one hand, maybe while the other works it. I'm a big fan of clasping it between my feet and getting the crotch shot of all the fun I'm having here. The video can be for me, it can be live for someone else who consents to watch it, it can be archived for a later date. It's such an exhilarating way to move sexual energy out into the world. Number 6, playing with toys. This is called a stroker or a sleeve, and it can be held between cushions, between a mattress and bed spring, in one's hand, partially closed doors, by another person, or with a special shower mount. Sexual relief comes from thrusting an erection into the opening. Dildos are made to give a sensation of fullness and friction to orifices, like the vagina and anus. Vibrators send a powerful and constant pulsation to an erogenous zone. Anus, perineum, vagina, clitoris, penis, nipples, that sore spot on my neck. Strap-ons are great for sexual relief via penetrating and or being penetrated. So prostate massage, role reversal, power play, and sexual exploration. And there are sex swings for a playground experience. Number 7, kink. This is my flogger, which doesn't bring me sexual relief, but it can for some people who value the sensation of being whipped. Similarly, spanking, temperature play, humiliation, and bondage can be outlets for thriving libidos. I just got this tie in the mail from one of you with condoms and gloves all over it. Perfect for tying someone up or for being tied up to have sexual relief. 8, Tantra. Tantra is a tradition that can encompass 13 or more forms of sexual relief in and of itself. As a whole practice, there is focus on harnessing sexual energy, and that can mean relieving sexual tension by absorbing it, redistributing it, or spinning it spiritually into an energy orgasm that goes out into the universe. Did you feel it? Number 9, breathing. Breathing is a huge component of Tantra, but you can breathe intentionally and get sexual relief without Tantra too. For example, when I'm all worked up in my groin and the parts are engorged with blood begging to be set free, breathing oxygen into that blood can send me right over the edge into an orgasmic bliss, or dissipate my aroused state into a calmer, more sexually relieved one. Number 10, exercise. Maybe you can't do your partners right at this very moment. Maybe there just isn't time to masturbate or express your sexual desires creatively. You can exercise. Physical activity can be very effective at exhausting the sex drive right out of you. Can be. Sometimes it fans the flames. That's okay, there are other options. Number 11, touch. Like massage and tickling and scratching. There's crossover here with kink and masturbation and toys, but so many more types of touch can communicate sexual intimacy and bring relief. Lately, I'm really into gentle kisses on my wrist and swaying back and forth in an embrace. Just being held can elicit an amazing amount of relief. Number 12, fantasy. Did you know that it's possible to orgasm from fantasy alone? Thinking about what turns you on and then splooge, you're coming. Here I think about people I've worked with who have severe disabilities. They're not able to move anything but their faces, and they definitely want sexual relief. One way? Using the mind to change the body, to go into sexual spaces, to play around with the storylines and characters, and then guiding oneself mentally back to tranquility. If this seems unrealistic, it may be because we're taught that getting off is comprised of limited activities. Sexual relief is often portrayed rigidly in media, and many of our lives acted out as one of two familiar behaviors. Number 13 is permission. Permission to expand your idea of sex, to relieve yourself from the expectation that coming is achieved by strict means or that you need to come at all. I've found orgasms and sexual relief in thinking about sex, doing front flips on a trampoline, dry humping, listening to someone else receive pleasure, crossing my legs, eating delicious food, and driving. That centrifugal force. The key is to recognize what isn't possible at the time, then to set yourself free to explore all of the many, many other